Welcome back to another episode of Day to Day with Daidrien. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have with me the man, the myth, Mr. Jason King. And to his left, I have Brandy Mbouge, international speaker. How y'all doing today?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm good.
That's good, man. We're going to get into it today. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to have to stay on schedule today because we know we got tight on time, but I want to deliver as much information as I can to the collective.
For sure.
So last episode, we left off on, well, me and Jason, we left off on not knowing what's out there. Okay. And many people don't know. And I feel like the foundation of people's reality comes down to debt and credit. If you don't have good credit, then it's hard for you to see what's out there, right? You don't have access to things, and if you don't have access to things, you don't have access to get in the room, right? So can you break down the foundations of credit and why it's so important?
Yes. So basically, people right now, you don't understand the leverage game. You have to understand this leveraging with your credit. You having the 680 credit score. You got to have 680 above. No derogatory marks, no charge-offs, no late payments. You can't have more than 2 inquiries on your credit. You got to have 10 years plus of credit age. 1 card or more that's 200, 2,500, or you can have another card that's 25K. So this is the foundation that you need to have on your profile. Now, the credit score itself does not matter once you get past the 680 mark. But the profile is the most important. What I just laid out for y'all, that basic foundation, because your personal credit is just a test to get you to your business credit. And I cannot reiterate that enough, because in this world that we live in, you have to have a way to leverage. Because through this week that me and Daidrien, we work out partners, we go work out all the time, but we sit and have business meetings afterwards to do business acquisitions, look for existing businesses, and pretty much talking about using our business credit to leverage and get us to the businesses that we want to purchase and ascertain wealth from. Now, a lot of people are falling short. 79 million people in the United States of America have bad credit. The credit is, we already at the top. The debt ceiling with credit debt is through the roof. So the next thing, y'all not paying attention to these games. That's why if y'all hadn't watched The Big Short, go to Netflix and go watch The Big Short. They just put it back on there. It was number 6 like 2 or 3 days ago. It's number 3 now. You better watch this, because the real estate game is going to change really quick, because they're defaulting on a lot of these mortgages, and then you're going to see this, what they call a super bubble. Once you already see the credit, that's the first one.
Right.
You see the mortgages, that's the second one. And you're going to see the dollar, that's going to be the third one. All 3 of these hit at one time, we're going to go into a Great Depression. It's a wrap.
And it's pretty much, at that point, it's pretty much all fair game to the people who have hoarded all the money, or the people who have the ability to make the money. Those are the only 2 people that's going to be able to sustain their life. Not only that, it's going to be considered what you call a fire sale. So if everybody lost their assets, that's the time where people are going to come in and start buying up everything. That's one reason how the bank got the hold that it has on the market. Right? There should be, honestly, in my opinion, there should be no landlords. The bank shouldn't be landlords on land or real estate. But this is the way the cookie crumbles in this economy, and that's the foundation of America, and that's the bedrock, and that's, primarily where many people generate the most money is in real estate. So, Randy, how do you think so far with the real estate market? How does it look? Are there more people buying homes right now, or more people losing them, in your opinion?
I think it always comes down to the phrase, if you have money, right, and if you are able to afford it, purchase it. That's it. Because the thing is that I'm not going to sit here and say that people are not selling, because that's not true. And I'm not going to sit here and say people are not buying. So if you're motivated, if you're willing, and if you're able, you can make it happen. Whether that's with commercial or whether that's with residential, right? Because people, and real talk, we're so worried about interest rates, right? And then as I sit and have these conversations with, say, mortgage lenders, right? These are people that they're writing the amount, they are getting you funded. to go and purchase real estate, right?
Right.
And so we talk about interest rates, right?
Right.
But then we sit and have this conversation, and then they're like, but think about it. Based off of what you realtors see, are the prices of homes going down? Then you sit and think. And so you're worried about interest rates, saying that, oh, my payments may be higher, yes, because of interest rates, for sure. Now, if the price of homes do not then go down in, say, a year or two from now, did it really make the greatest difference just because you were worried about interest rates? It comes down to making an informed decision. So if you can't afford it, do it. Because you're going to rent. You're either going to rent or you're going to buy. So just assess, you know, which piece of the puzzle do you want to be on. So
as far as people getting qualified for the home, can you walk us through that process of being qualified for a house?
So one of the greatest frameworks I learned is called, this is free game, I'm not going to lie to you. But there's four criteria that you focus on, right? You talk about assets, credit, income, and debt.
Okay.
Right? Because debt, talking about DTI.
Okay.
Right? But then you talk about credit, as you mentioned, 660, 640, right? It'll still get you qualified.
Right.
But they may be like, make your interest rates a little bit higher just because your credit score is a little bit lower.
Okay.
So, you know, of course you want to be 680, 700, but that doesn't mean that we're going to just turn you away because your credit score is not at 680 or 700. Business is business.
Right.
So that's one thing to focus on, of course, is credit. But now income, you know, it really depends on your, not say gross commission income like a realtor, but how much money your gross, what is your gross before, of course, they take out taxes or federal, like all these different, you know, deductions. But those are things to just pay attention to, right? And then assets, of course, if it's stocks, if it's crypto, if it's maybe other things that you're able to liquefy to show the lender that you have money in access, that I can access, right? And then, of course, we talked about, so that's assets, that's income, that's credit, then it's debt. So you want to pay attention to your DTI. And so that's based off of how much money you owe on a monthly basis.
Okay. And that's
like car payments, if it's student loans, if it's, not say mortgages, of course, you don't own a home yet, but when you do, it kind of, you know, changes a little bit. But those are just things to pay attention to.
And this is getting qualified for a house, let's just say $300,000 to $400,000.
Yeah.
Right. And doing this, if I'm going to go get approved for a house by myself, that was the only complication that I run into, right? Heavy. But you would have to,
heavy.
Yeah, so you can essentially in the American market, in this or wherever they do real estate, I'm not sure how they do it in other countries, but here you can afford a house, what, 30 times your income, like because you're paying it off in 30 years. So essentially you can afford a house that's, you know, $300,000, $400,000 and you make $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Steep.
So how much?
The biggest thing you want to pay attention to is your monthly payments,
right?
Because if you're not able, because like they say, okay, you're pre-qualified for $350K,
right?
But
on a salary, how much you think somebody will have to have in order to qualify for that?
That varies, because then you'd have to break it down per month, because then it goes back to DTI income, like your DTI.
Right.
So it really does vary, because everybody's situation is different. That's why as a realtor we say, nah, go talk to the lender. Right. Because I could tell you maybe you could qualify for $300K, and then the lender's like, because it goes into underwriting, and when it goes to underwriting, that's when they're really, I'm talking about they're how are you paying for this house? Like they're not playing with you, bro. Like I'm talking about they're chiseling at you, saying, bro, you got to move correct. Right. You know, like truly, and that's why it's so important. Like honestly, when it comes into real estate, it's like, this is why when we talk about working with professionals, one of the biggest things, you know, criteria you want to pay attention to is who's writing the loan. And when they give you the sheet of paper saying what are your monthly amounts looking like, you got to really lock in and say, okay, is this lender able to take me to close? Okay. Because I know it's a multiple. I can't remember what it is, but you can afford a house 3 to 4 times your income, 4 times your income. It keeps varying. But it varies. Most people are in homes like who honestly don't make that much money a year or every 2 years. So like if I know people right now are in homes that 280,000, 300,000, and they're not making anywhere close to that a year. Is that maybe it really all depends on how they got into the home, right? So now, because the thing is, there's other loans than just say FHA or VA, correct, or conventional. That's why then you get into if it's a bank statement loan. So now they have all this cash. Yes, on paper they say I make $70K a year, but maybe they touched 150. Right. So then they took a big excess of pool of funds, right, put it down as the down payment on the home. The bank's like, or the bank or the lender is going to be like, your interest rate may be 8-9%, but you're like, I don't care because I put down 30-40K on the home just to get into it. So yes, they may not make all that money yearly, but because they had the access of funds, they were able to get into the home. And I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to get to a point in a minute
that you said that, because it should not be easier to buy a home than it is to get funding for a business. Okay,
That's interesting, though.
it should, yeah,
No, it's
because
interesting.
it should
That is
not,
interesting
yeah.
because-
And I'm finna break it down and what I went through this week, and this is insane, right? But I've been,
Insane.
but I'm out here, like I said before, I'm not gonna tell somebody to do something I haven't done myself, or I'm not actively
No,
doing
right,
it,
right.
So, but that you said that, essentially you have people in homes, more people in homes who can't afford it.
Yep.
We
But-
just call
but
it ace and a spade a spade.
But and the reason, but then it's like, let's think about it. You were talking about if they do a whole bubble, like I say, you mentioned the super bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue then becomes, it's like, this is why it comes down to either how ethical is the professionals being, right? Because
Yep.
they're saying, oh, bet I can get you into the home. Like, it sounds good because they inflated your numbers maybe a little bit to get you into the home. But now you are suffering to make those monthly payments. But then you say that we talk about either interest rates or you talk about the economy.
Right.
So now say groceries are going up. So you're saying groceries are going up, you got to eat. So
We get somewhere.
So, but you see what I'm saying?
We get somewhere.
So it's a circle. Like,
So this is why I
Yeah.
told y'all to watch the movie The Big Short.
it's a great movie.
So
Great movie.
look how he
Before you get into that, it looks like that the same thing is about to happen again if that is the case, right? If underwriters or people who are helping you get into these homes or qualifying for these homes that you can't afford, right? And that's just what they're doing to make money, right? Because at the end of the day, they care about money, right?
money.
It has nothing to do with y'all, especially if somebody who has integrity with themselves and
Exactly.
an honest real estate agent like yourself is going to
Yes.
make sure this person can afford this house
Yes.
before I get into it, right? So, and it's I'm gonna get to my point where I'm gonna explain why it should not be easier to get into a home than it is to get into a business. But I want you to finish what you were saying about that movie, then I explain.
Listen. So that movie, The Big Short, is gonna show you how they pretty much
Play the game.
play the game. So the banks, they in the business of making money. But when they get into the Randy's honest, but it's not gonna be that many honest people in this industry.
Because
Right.
you want to make money.
They want to make money. So when they get in their commission or they pull back from whatever they sold, then most likely they're going to put you in a situation. So now, like, this is what I tell people all the time. The problem, we already got 79 million people that don't qualify in credit. What's how many people in the United States of America? 350 million, something around there. So look at that percentage. Now, the problem is that we're going to deal with in the next 6 years, over leveraging. We have people on here, social media has made you
Think it's easy.
think it's easy.
So-
These people, it's a done deal. You seeing all these people with these fancy houses, them houses rented. These suckers out here lying. They'll take a house, okay, it's $2,000 a month. They'll pay it off, $20K for a whole year. Boom, I just bought a new house. You lying. You lying. Boy, I know you. You lying. I know you. You lying. You out here. Oh, no, let me go. Let me build.
Not finished.
I'm finna go in
Yeah.
because you lying, and now that lie has superseded and made everybody think it's glitter and gold. Stop listening to this Airbnb BS. Stop listening to this Turo BS. These people, they gonna rob you. They gonna take your cars. Then you gonna have to pay fees. Now on the back end, you losing money. It's more broke people than it is rich people. The average person gets paid $42,000 a year. And that's just a male. A female getting paid less. So we up in here having do you see this battle of sexes war that's got going on, paying my rent?
Distracting you.
Y'all broke on both sides. So you sitting here saying all this garbage, you broke on both sides. Literally, this year, in the first, and I'm finna get in my bag. I shouldn't even tell y'all this about me making money. I was working a job. I made $150K in the first 3 months of me working a job. I'm working a job. After I quit my job, I made another $150K. So, but it came from me locking in.
For real.
So y'all talking about making money, doing all this stuff online. You don't even know what the proper system it is. Now we looking at, I tell people about credit. I tell people about business, but you don't even read when you're filling out for the credit cards. It says on the application, your total household income. That's everybody in the house. It's not just saying you. So if you got a spouse, y'all both make 40, that's 82K. Y'all both paying rent. I don't care whoever taking care of you, divide it by 2. Now you got 82, you got 800. That's what you putting in for the rent. Y'all pay attention to what I'm telling you. You got 82. You got 800 for the rent. Now, when they go through the whole process, that's going to put your debt to income. He tapped in. That's going to put your debt to income around 11% right there. Then you're going to get approved for a $2,000, maybe $4,000 card. Boom. This is your test from the banks. You use that card on mediocre things, gas, Netflix. Do it for 4 months. Call back, ask for a credit limit increase 6 times of what you have. So if it's $4,000, you need to be asking for a $20,000 card. You see the play? I'm giving y'all the play. You better pay attention. You got this card. You need to go get an LLC ASAP. Take one of the cards, get all the stuff right, get your business name, get your Duns and Bradstreet, get your EIN, get your business email, telephone, have a business address attached to a brick and mortar. If you don't, they're gonna get you. When you go into underwriting with the banks, it's a different game. So you need to build relationships with the bank. Chase Bank, Bank of America, Navy Federal, DCU Credit Union, Truist Bank, PNC Bank. Y'all hear me telling y'all this. These banks, no docs. If you have the qualifications on the personal side, you got a 20K card, you got good debt to income ratio. Right. Please, every time y'all get y'all credit fixed, you go buy a new car. You got a $40,000. I made this mistake. Do not do that. Go find you a cash car.
Facts.
Buy the car out.
Yeah.
Change the engine in it. Brand new car. Stop buying new vehicles. As soon as you take it off the lot, $6,000 decreased in value. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your money. It's a complete and utter waste. I don't care how you want to look fancy and fly. You're doing dumb stuff. You're doing dumb stuff. Yeah. Stop that. That's going to put you in I'm going to get you. You're going to over leverage. When you go to Randy, just like they did with me, they told me I was 90% over my debt to income ratio.
Yeah, it's too high.
It's too high.
You got to be like 45.
Got to be
30% to 45%. It's
to
ideal.
Get approved.
It's ideal. It's very
to get approved from a lender to give you
to get good rates, or to get because you got to think when you look to get pre-approved, they're giving you an amount of what's called your buy box. So essentially, or the amount that you can afford. Essentially, they're saying that we'll give you $200K. Now imagine you could have got pre-qualified for $250K if you weren't financing a car.
I see what you're saying.
And it's so subtle.
Right.
I don't say it's that simple, but it's like
that's why
if there's one thing I did right, cash cars.
Yeah.
I say I want a Tesla all the time. I'll be preaching I want a Tesla. But I say cash car. Yeah. Just go get a cash car.
There you go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yo, it's crazy. This is why they say this is why they say to buy a home. Yeah. And then go get the car.
Yeah.
Facts. Because you got to think about it too when I talk to a lender. Like when you literally go and talk to lenders, right? Something that happens is they talk about, you got to think about, you don't want to open up new accounts. Right? So I'm not, of course, a mortgage lender, but there's things that I understand because I'm having these conversations with them. You don't go open up a new account, whether that is a credit line or whether that's a car note, because now when it goes to underwriting for the house, they're like, what did you what's going on here? Why did you do this? Oh, it's gonna throw off your DTI. You made a big purchase, it's gonna throw off your DTI.
So applying for new credit is gonna throw off your DTI?
Yes. When you are looking to purchase a home specifically. That's why they tell you when you go get pre-approved, don't you purchase anything for the next 90 days. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Before or after?
Before you close on the house. Do not go and make any big purchase. Point blank period. Okay. It's non-negotiable.
Remember I told you, he just touched on it. So every time when y'all get a credit card, it cuts your credit age. So if you got 10 years of credit, boom, there are 2 years gone. Boom, there are another 2. So that's gonna affect you. Now, you see the game that we're in right now.
Right.
You know, they used to have redlining and all this type of stuff. They just took that name away. It's still there.
It's still there. Ooh, yeah.
It's still there.
You're not lying. Because when I was sitting in this room, I'm telling you, it was some heavy hitters. I'm talking about one person was like, yeah, we're doing over $500 million worth of development for real estate. I was like, bro, what?
How?
And they were working, and they look like us. And I was happy. I was proud. And then on top of that too, they said one of the things that we need to focus on or realize or pay attention to is you notice how when you go to any like city or you're driving around town, doesn't matter where you're at, right? They got the railroad. And so when you cross over that railroad, you notice instantly you're like, whoa, it's night and day. It's night and day. Just keep driving. Just literally you cross the railroad, you just keep driving like a mile, you be like, what happened? I
noticed that.
You just know it's just it's so subtle, but it's still true.
I noticed that.
How like you night and day, you just cross over that that line, that railroad tracks, and you're like, whoa. Who?
Kingwood and Humble. You see Humble,
the railroad.
Then as soon as you go into Kingwood, what? Where are we?
We see that railroad. You cross that railroad, yeah.
It's crazy.
But see, that's another thing. So now you also look at the highways and the freeways. The bad areas are encased inside of a freeway.
Yep.
I'll talk about that later.
Or the roundabouts.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Going to the roundabouts, you're like.
Yeah, I've noticed. I'm like, why is it? Yeah, you closer to the city. Like, why is it?
No.
I was like, you know what?
It's designed that way. But go ahead and build on your stuff, D, because I got to get this lady's ass.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. But I want to say that to build relationships with banks. Now I'm gonna give you a good gem, and it was from my advisor. And what you want to do is you want to attend a lender matchmaking event. Okay. This is where you're going to meet the bankers, and this is where you're going to build relationships with them. Because I realized, and I'm a cut in front of my story before I tell you my story. But if you build a relationship with a banker, you don't need credit and you don't need proof of income.
Wow.
I just dropped a major gem.
No, that's different.
If I know that banker, and this has happened, I've seen this happen. If I know this banker, because what you don't know is people donate to the bank. People donate to the bank. You have people who donate millions to the bank.
Wow.
And then what they're gonna do? They're gonna call that person, hey, such and such has donated to the bank. I can get you approved for that $250,000 loan. Okay, you don't even need your credit or your proof of income. I'll take care of you.
Hold on 1 second. What? Hey.
I was like, wait a minute. But that's because he built the relationship. Yeah, sure. The first thing that happened, he was on his mind. Hey, I'll get you qualified for this loan. Oh, okay, don't worry. He's like, my credit, this is what he said. Well, my credit is at a 640. I'm trying to get it to a 670. It don't matter. So if it don't matter, why? This is the system. If it doesn't matter, why do I need it in the first place? It's to keep people like me at the bottom. It's to keep people like me at the bottom, bro. If I have to, you know how long it'll take for me to get to a credit score? If I know the information, first of all, if I don't know anything about credit,
no, that's true.
Which is exactly.
It can take a while.
It can take a while. Not only that, you got to have the money to put down on the loan. Let's not forget about that. But if you know the banker, you don't have to put money down on the loan. Ain't that so? So you cut all these years out the equation. For somebody like me, it may take 25 years. You know.
Also, just a side note is that also paying for information though, because I believe when you pay for a little bit of access, or you're willing to put a little bit of money in the room or table, you may not have it, but because you're willing to, you see that, hey, I don't have it, and I'm willing to. I'm willing to put money where my mouth is.
Yes.
People are willing to go above and beyond for you.
Yes.
Just because you're in the room, it pays to be in the room.
Absolutely.
So, pay to get in the room. So Daidrien is one of my mentees, and I deal with a multimillionaire on a daily basis. We got a whole group, and so I tell y'all, when we get people that are multimillionaires to come to speak to y'all and give y'all the loopholes of how they're making. It's so many loopholes in this game. We're behind. And I'm not talking 7-8 years. I'm talking 80 to 100 years behind.
Because you don't have the game.
Because we don't know the game.
Just information at that
point.
So
when you talking about paying to get in the room, pay to get in the room. Because you think you making money
until you see.
I literally, my business partner, I literally sat down with him and he pulled $100,000 out cash. He pulled a $50,000 check out. He pulled another $100,000 cash out. This is money that he made that week. That week. And I'm sitting here I'm thinking, oh, I did 250. I ain't did shit.
That's crazy.
But
there's levels to the game though, and I think it helps though to see that, like, because there's different ways to look at it. Somebody could feel intimidated, somebody could feel jealous, or somebody say, "Yo, I'm inspired. Oh, you look like me, and you've done it at such a high level. What do I need to do? I'm all ears. I'm open hands. What do I need to do?"
Yeah. So let me
get to the story.
I mean, I was gonna say that. All right. So
let me put these shades on because I'm about to be.
I get introduced to this lady.
Right.
Okay. And this lady is a very successful entrepreneur, and she has over 100 franchises.
Wow.
Okay. She's been doing this for quite some time. I book a consultation where I book an appointment with her, right? Through, through the mentorship, and, I set it for the next week. Right. So I'm getting excited and getting my questions ready to ask this lady because this is my one shot, So I get on a Zoom call, and before I even got on the Zoom call, she vetted me. She looked me up everywhere she could. And she was like, "Hey, listen, I couldn't find you on Indeed. I looked you up, and I can't find you. Are you on Indeed?" I said, "No." I said, why would I be on Indeed? I'm not looking for a job. And she was like, she didn't say anything, but because she kept going. She kept talking. And then she said, "I see you're a model. Tell me about that." So I'm here to talk to you about franchises, and you're actually
trying to shoot her shot.
You asked me about, my modeling career. And she says, "Why am I doing that?" And I said, "Well, it's quite complicated because I can do a gig and it takes me 2 to 3 months to get paid if I even get that gig in the first place. So how long is it going to be before I get paid?" She's like, "Okay, yeah, I can see that." And I was like, "Well, I plan on pursuing that career, but once I acquire my acquisition first, but so that I can be able to afford to stay in the market where I want to at my leisure, under my luxury, right?" She's like, "Okay, yeah. She's like, "Okay, so tell me what you're interested in." And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of right now looking at P&D routes, and I'm looking at, other franchises and business to invest into." And she was like, "How much liquidity do you have?" And I told her, which was, 5 figures up there. And she was like, "Oh, okay. And what are you looking to do?" Well, she was like, "Well, we offer something called an SBA Express." And I said, "But to qualify for it," and that's why I asked you about the qualifications. She was like, "Well, to qualify for it," she said, "you have to have a net worth of $150,000, $30,000 to put down, and proof of income." Right? So I was like, "Okay, so what if I have what if I have the liquidity, right? And I'm giving the bank the income I'm about to purchase to get qualified for this SBA loan." And she was like, "Well, yeah, it doesn't work like that." But she said, "Well, how are you gonna get the money?" And I said, she was like, "Because I think you can put down $180,000 for $1 million loan." I was like, "I can get the money. It's no problem." And then she was like, "Well, how are you gonna get the money?" And she looked really interested. And I said, "Well, I'm gonna leverage my credit." And she was like, "Well, you can't borrow money to borrow money." In my head, yes, you can. In my head, you can't do that. And then she was like, "Because the bank is going to see that." Now, it's, like he was telling you before, there's ways around this, right? I'm not going to explain that right now. I'm just going to tell you the story. And then she said, "Well, I like where your head is, but you can't do that." And normally when somebody tells you that, you're on the right path. If somebody tells you can't do something, you're most likely on the right path. So she was like, "Well, yeah, you can't borrow money from a bank to buy money. So you can't use money you can't borrow money and then use that money to borrow money." I was like, "Okay, so what is your advice for building wealth?" Okay, and she gave me a little bit of background story about herself, and then she told me what to do. This financial advisor told me to get a job. She told me to wait tables to save $30,000 and then come back and talk to her. And I said, "Wait, so your advice to me, right, is to get a job to build wealth?" "Well, yeah, because how is she gonna get the money?" And I said, honestly, Listen to me. I didn't even argue with this woman.
No,
I didn't argue with this woman. I said, honestly, if I was to do that, it'd take me
X amount of years.
10, 30 waiting tables. At this current market with inflation and the cost of living, it'd take me 10 years of not spending anything. So it's like, okay, so you want me to come back to you when I'm 33 to hit the same wall. And then I was like, well, what can help me qualify? Well, if you have a spouse who's working, that can help you qualify, but you still need an asset of a net worth of $150,000. So you're telling me I need a spouse. And I said, how do you get a net worth of $150,000? She's like, well, you got to have a house. I said, so you telling me that I have to have a house? If I don't have a house, I have to have a spouse that has a house just to qualify for a loan, and then still put $30,000 down on this loan to have access to it with a good credit score. But if I was a veteran, then the qualifications would be a little bit cheaper, so I can put less money down, right? But I still have to have the asset. So I was like, this is crazy.
But a question, side note, was that just for her program, or
that was just what she was advising me to do?
For
to acquire a business, or to acquire the loan.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, what franchises? Because she has over 4,000 franchises, right? She knows about 4,000 that you can invest into.
Right.
I asked her. I said, hey, what are good franchises to invest into? You know what she told me? I really can't help you because you don't have any money. I said, so you can't even tell me what franchises to look into? Well, no, because it kind of defeats the point. And I was just like, all right, well, you have a good day. You don't know who I know. I was just, talking to her to get a little bit more information. But what she didn't know is I already have a banker. I already have a banker who's going to do all of this stuff. All I have to provide him with is the financials, which is of the company I'm trying to buy. Because that's what's going to pay the loan. And your job isn't. If I had a job waiting tables, how am I going to pay $100?
And it really depends on why you got the job in the first place. Because, like, say if I go get a job, right? I'm thinking, okay, this job will then pay for rent, groceries, gas, and ad spend, so I can make more money in real estate. I'm not out here saying I'm working a job just for the sake of
saving money to buy a loan.
I'm investing everything.
But even if I had a job, right?
It'll still take you.
How long would it take if I default? How long would it take me to pay you back if I default on a loan?
Man, and it's a trap.
So I'm like, so this is terrible advice. If I was making $100,000 a year, I still couldn't qualify because it's like the debt to income ratio. Let's not forget about that. And then if the business that I bought went under, I'm responsible for paying that loan with my primary source of income. You'll never get $1.8 million out of me. You would never get it. So I was just like, this is terrible advice, but you have a great day and thank you for your time. It's the same thing we went on with. The meeting was 45 minutes. It lasted 10.
As it should. I mean, some meetings don't have to go for a long time, right?
Bro, first of all, this lady had the mitigated gall. She hit on him first. That's what I'm gonna go with her dirty old ass. She hit on him. So I'm sitting. If just in case anybody get in the room with me, I can hear an angel fart. I heard the whole conversation. So I'm listening at her, telling her this, and I say, okay, you telling him the exact opposite of what you did with your goat smelling ass. You leveraged your money in the class that we had. She told us what she did to get in there and do this. And I'm like, okay, you started off in cell phone sales.
You sales.
You use sales. Yeah. So what you didn't think commission was going to get you the job. But you telling him to go wait tables?
Told me to wait tables.
You telling him to go wait tables instead of doing something, getting a digital product and building sales. Now me, I'm on the other hand, on the other end, I'm heated because I hear her saying all of this goofy stuff to him. Now I'm like, okay, she didn't know that we already in link with an SBA 7 person.
She don't know that.
So she didn't know the express loan, the SBDC. Anybody out here that's trying to find anything out about the business or doing any type of business, go there. They will set you up. It's free. So I'm sitting over here. You're just trying to get money off of these people, and you're not even trying to help them. One, she talked to my business partner the same way she talked to you, and he's a multi-millionaire. And I'm like,
wow.
so just
She didn't even know though.
So no, she knew.
Oh wow.
The disrespect was always there.
Man.
So this is the levels that I tell y'all about. Okay, once you get to 2 million, is one level of disrespect. 10 million, another level of disrespect. She in the 30 to 40 million dollar. So she was hella disrespectful. So I'm like, okay, you hit on the man. You talking to him crazy. You didn't give him any advice.
It's ridiculous.
Because you couldn't get $4,000 off of him as a commission. You suck, lady.
Yeah.
No. You suck, lady. You can kiss my entire ass. I want you to see me on this podcast because what you're telling people is wrong. And then we got a SBA 7 banker.
Not only that, she underestimated the community. She underestimated what a business can do.
Fact.
And I'm not gonna say too much, but she underestimated that. I'm like, bro, like, and then not only that, it's not the 60s. Like,
yeah, you told a young black man in his 20s to go wait tables.
Yeah, you already vetted me before you even got on the conversation with me. And so the cards are already stacked against me. So she knew. She knew
what she was doing. So I'm like, okay,
man.
Now you just explained you're gonna use a express SBA 7 loan. While we could take you to the other people through the regular process, all you're gonna need is your tax information. All you're gonna need to know is the bank and have a good credit score. Yeah. And then you can just put 10,000 something down and get $100,000 loan. And then if you're going into real estate, they extend your loan, your category from 10 to 30 years. While she trying to get let me get 30K and you get 180K. She trying to go for the quick bag. I'm like,
most definitely.
You trying to put people in a hole so you can get the bag. And I'm like, your ethics in this business suck. I'm like, you're a terrible mentor. Yeah. I like you gave people you gave my business partner some incredible tools, but you giving out BS information. You too old to be doing that garbage, lady. Yeah. And I really want you to see this, and I hope this goes viral. It's people like you that keep us in this, and this is what I want y'all to understand. Leveraging your credit is so important. She telling, you can't pay a bank back with another bank. Well, why is so many people of your nationality doing it?
The bank is doing the same thing. The bank is taking your demand deposit, and then they're making investments on other things that you get no profit for. So if the bank is taking debt, and all debt is all money is lended, all money is debt.
It's borrowed.
It's borrowed.
So it's like energy. Well, like it
is a exchange of debt. So when I pay my debt off, I give it to you, and then essentially how the system works. I'm not gonna go into it real deep, but essentially it's a transfer of debt. So all debt is public debt, right? So they're taking money. They're stealing money. The bank is stealing money, exactly. Because how do you give a loan out? Whose money is that?
Where's the money coming from?
Where's the money coming from?
Banks can't lend money.
So, and then we can now be getting on the banks. We can get into rescissions if you want to get there. Because once I get to that point, I'm sending the debt right back. And who paying for it? The government. And I'm going to do it every single time. All debt is, all money is public debt. And when you understand that when you hold your birth certificate and your Social Security, you are an obligation to the United States. Right, so you're not at fault for the things that you do, and most people don't understand. Ooh. If the United States own me, if they own me, how am I liable for my obligations? I'm not. You are. So they don't see. She did. You don't know what I know. And I was like, okay, lady, cool. Because when I get to where I'm going, I'm being unstoppable. so it's called rescissions, and you can send the money back. So I can get the loan and send the money right back. Now I'm not going to tell anybody how to do this because you will go to jail. So and this is not financial advice. So
tell them the book.
Do your own due diligence.
Tell them the book.
The book is called "Give Yourself Credit, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees," but you're gonna need other tools with that. So that's just if you want to get into it, that is a good place to look. and find out what it is to go from there. You're gonna go down a rabbit hole, and it's gonna be hard. And honestly, it's gonna be better to work with somebody else with that, because you doing it by yourself is gonna give you a headache.
Yes.
And there's a lot of other things that you're gonna have to understand. So that's the first thing you can do, but you got to understand terminology and legalese. Once you understand that, and you feel like you mastered it, then you can put that into a source of administration to seek remedy until remedy is provided. But until then, just look into it and see if it works for you.
Learn the law. Do not let somebody tell you that you can't qualify something. Like, it's millionaires that have been made overnight.
And on top of that too, is it just me, or have you seen over like the last 18 months, everybody understands credit. Everybody understands creative financing. Everyone understands how to get into real estate. They could be 19, 20, 21. They got $300K in profit off Airbnb. And so I also want to say, because I'm in the process as well. But what I will say is that, pay attention to what it is that you're doing, and don't get so caught up in everyone else's process, because it's your path. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it's so easy to go on social media and say that person's 19 or that person's 20, they're already a millionaire. Bro, we don't know what they did to become a millionaire. So I'd rather not focus on that and focus my efforts every single day on actually putting in the work. Because it doesn't matter what game you want to get into. It comes down to maybe information, resources, doing the actual work, which is activity. Now, partnerships, like relationships, like execution, like it all comes down to these various things. So it's focused on you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you went into that, because you have to make better business decisions.
For sure.
So everybody that I see, like, look, the reason why I was on Turo and Airbnb, because when the people start making the money, they don't invest it in the right things. 90% of new businesses fail, but old businesses from 1 to 5 years still thriving. It's millions of people selling their businesses. What are you investing your money in? Why do you keep getting more cars and increasing your debt? Start looking for businesses that people are selling. Car washes, laundromats. Make it make sense. A laundromat will bring home the cash flow is almost $350,000. You can
A year?
A year.
Roger that. But with that too, it's like, just not like a side note too, is like focus on things that you're either investing into or can understand. Like the reason I chose real estate was because it's like, look, I have my real estate license. Not everyone has the real estate license. Then you talk about someone being ethical, talking about a certain sense of integrity. So what does that then do? As we develop a certain market share, I'm then able to capitalize on the opportunity of being a realtor who actually has information.
Right.
So I'm telling other people, viewers who you don't maybe have a business or you don't know where to start, it's like maybe look into things that you're already doing or things that you believe you can potentially get paid for and can deliver on it. Because we're going into a time period where it's like it's not easy, or it's getting a little bit harder, right? But it's not to say that money's still not being made. So understand that you can say, yes, it's hard. However, I'm going to come out on top. It's all about perspective now.
Right. And I want to say the bulk of making money, right, isn't, you can take what we say and you can apply it to your life. But I want to let everybody know this. It's not your IQ that makes you money. It's your EQ. Your ability, it's your ability to be liked. If people don't like you, you're not making any money. It doesn't matter how smart you are. And that is the quality that people need to possess with themselves. So before you even get to that point, you're going to have to take some time to do some self-work.
Hey, lady, I just want to tell you, I know you see this. I don't like you. I don't like you. You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful.
Roger that.
I watch you disrespect 2 black men back to back.
And that's wrong, though.
And it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Because you're trying to catch the bag and you're not trying to help people. One thing I do say, I don't offer stuff for free. But people, when they call me, I'll give you a 30, 45-minute consultation.
Right.
But I told you it's a credit repair course. It's $450. That's the cheapest you're going to get it. Because
my price is my price.
My price is my price because I'm worth it. But anyway, when it comes down to that, what I'm going to teach you is going to get you up to a 725, 740. I've done it myself. I'm a living testimony of it. The reason why we have a platinum package, we do all the stuff for you. Stop if you can't put an LLC together, we'll get the team to put it together. You can't get your credit repaired, we'll fix your credit.
And your credit, and I cannot say how important this is your lifeline to success, right? And those of you in a relationship right now, you if you don't have good credit, she may have good credit, or vice versa. Use each other to get ahead in life.
Please.
If you are blessed to be in a relationship, use each other to get ahead in life, because doing it by yourself is complicated, but it's a lot easier. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
And I'm going to say this because I always say it. The quality of your life depends on how you play this game. I can't make it even more plain than that. This is a game.
One big game. I've always said that. That's crazy.
And we are blocked. And just what he just said, regardless of your race, your color, they want two classes, upper and lower. So it's just as many white people going through the same stuff he went through.
Facts.
Hispanics, black people, they're gonna get us regardless, the most because they don't care for us. But like, listen, you can't be me. You can't be me. I look like, I smell like money. Get out my face.
Love it.
Because I'm not gonna rival in humility. I'm gonna rival in my pride of my people. Even though we doing effed up stuff right now. Y'all gotta stop scamming. You gotta start collaborating. If they always talking about a black community, we really don't have a community right at this point. We're too busy watching people on social media instead of going to these town hall meetings.
Yep.
Going to the meetings where all of the other people that make money go to. I got a young lady that stays in Miami. She told me about a meeting with just entrepreneurs, and they go in and do nonprofits. Now, again, with the bank, with the guys doing that with the bank, that's what they're doing with their nonprofits. Okay, so I just want y'all to understand how big of a play that is. So you got a guy that has a nonprofit, and he has money in that bank, and he makes money the whole entire year. And then he takes that money and go take it to the bank and give it to the bank as a donation. Guess what's happening when his tax times come?
Get it right back.
He getting it right back. He at the start of the year, so he didn't double. Do y'all understand what I just said? He didn't double his money.
Yeah,
he
crazy.
Playing.
Ain't nothing for free.
When I'm telling you, the Monopoly game is sick.
It's insane.
It's sick, y'all. We losing. And I keep trying to tell you,
like, and the reason I keep coming back to this is because there was a lot of wealth and information in the room, and once again, they all looked like us. And one thing that she mentioned, one of the first realtors, is that she was saying that there's too many. We're going away from wanting to be the apprentice, you know, wanting to actually learn from the master. Everybody wants to be a master, but it's like you've never put in the work to actually be an apprentice.
Right.
So we sometimes fall into the trap of saying, I want to, like, I get it. I'm all about ownership. And then I had to sit back because I told you the first 6 months of 2023 let me know what's really good, right? Yeah. When there's a lack of focus, when there's a lack of preparation, when there's a lack of strategy, you're going to keep falling on your face, and you act like you may feel like you're doing a lot of activity, but you may not be actually making no money.
Busy work.
Right? It's just, and it's like you're sitting there frustrated because you don't know what to do. So I said, okay, wait a second. I said, all right, let's stop this because it's not working. It's not working. Right? So I said, I need information and I need wisdom. Those are the two. And I'm willing to make less money for the information and wisdom. And then next thing you know, 18 to 24 months from now, whoa, where did you come from? Oh yeah, I was locked in.
You get the ground running.
That's it. Because it's information and the wisdom that'll then allow us to make as much money as we want to.
Exactly.
And then you saying it's one big game. It's based off of certain decisions, right?
Everything that I'm glad he said that. Every decision that you make in life, it comes back. It comes back tenfold. So like karma is real. For one decision that you make that was bad, you're gonna have 7 years of that garbage to deal with. I tell people this all the time. When I was in my 20s, I was I was in them streets. Boy, I'm telling you, I was for the bull. You could have came up to me and got robbed in any minute because I was just out of my mind. Man. I was just out of my mind because I'm just in the environment around people that's doing.
You were born in addition. You were in the conditions of your environment, which made you to who you were in that time.
It made me hostile, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it how I live. And so I tell people that, like, don't take that change can come anywhere, shadow work, whatever you want to call it. Just do what you got to do to make yourself better. Yes. Because I tell people all the time, y'all be in my stories. I see y'all. Hey, stop living in the past. You get stuck. And when you stuck and you stagnant and you doing the same thing, y'all see me go work out every day. Me and working out, y'all see us go hit that meal. Then you see us business acquisitions. Then after that,
and it's monotonous. It's monotonous. You working out every single day is not. It's not easy. But there's a reason behind it, because I know that even in my darkest times, when you're staying physically fit and you're moving, your brain's not as idle. Right, so you're not allowing boredom to then supersede what it is that you're striving for. So even when you're going through the difficulty of life, that's of course a part of your testimony. So when you then tell your story, nobody can say you didn't work for it.
Listen, and let me tell y'all the bottom line of that. Your goof ass gotta live.
No, that too. Like,
you gotta work out. Your body cannot function with us eating all this garbage. And like, stop it. You gotta live. You see, we eat clean sandwiches, avocado, soup, boom, drink water, go. I put him on coconut water today. He was pissed off at me, but it's all right. But we're doing these things. Like, I'm 40. I forgot my birthday was Sunday.
Wow. Happy belated birthday.
No, it's just coming up. I didn't, because I've been in such a.
I thought today was Friday too. Yeah. It's bad. It's
crazy. When you on your own schedule, you just lose track of time.
That's the hustle.
You're like, bro, what day is it? Yo, gotta check the calendar for real. I'm saying, look, because it's the same thing every single day.
Yeah, and day in and day out. And I tell people
that's the boring work.
You can't be scatterbrained in your business. True. You have to focus on one area and master it, because I know a lot of people that got brilliant ideas, but you're not accomplishing anything. You just I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this.
That's exactly what I was on, and I made no money.
Yeah, and you can't do that.
I'm talking about goose egg.
You can't do that.
No, I'm talking about maybe it's a couple hundred, but you're like, bro, this bill over here like 1,000. Look, so it really don't. The math ain't mathing.
Watch this. I'm gonna show him, and this me been doing this week.
What was that quote about the book? And look, you looked up
this week.
Yeah, different.
Different.
Trying to be on that level, man.
Different.
This week.
As you should. As you should.
What was that quote that you like to say? You said it before in the previous podcast. He was like, when we had the book, or we had the land.
Oh yeah.
So
the quote essentially goes. I'm gonna butcher it unless I pull it out on my phone, but it's saying that when we had go ahead and pull it out, because I want
to end the podcast on that quote.
I got you, so I'm gonna look for it. I got you, because it's very powerful, and it's something that actually I'm very happy that my uncle has it. Like, it's in the living room, like, so, and that's the place where we look to have intellectual conversations, and so it's just there every single day, but it stands for something. Yeah. And so I'm gonna read actually all three of them when I find it, so that you guys can have all three of the quotes.
While he's looking this stuff up, I want y'all to understand. I've seen a lot of people try to help a lot of people and try to get up. But if you don't help yourself first, you don't need to be helping anybody else. I tell people, you go into business with your friends, you better understand who they are. Like, something that I like about Daidrien, I heard him say this 2 days ago. He said it ain't about the money. When I heard him say that, I was like, I'm locked in. So I say, okay, I got to get you to the point to where you got $200,000-300K in your bank account as spending money. It's pocket change.
Thanks.
And when he hear me say stuff like that, he be like, what you mean pocket change? What I said, pocket change.
Pocket change.
Because the way that you think is the way that you're going to live your life. Your mindset is going to be everything.
Yeah, I read a quote, and it said, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. You need to change what you are so you can attract what you so you can track the same thing.
Yep.
And I was like, you know, this make a lot of sense. This make a lot of sense. Like, because
And-
why would anything be brought to you that you're asking for it and you're not even ready to receive it?
Exactly. You're gonna blow the bag. And I know so many people that blew the bag. I helped people make millions. When during the pandemic, I helped people make millions. And now I see those same people reverting back, going through the same thing. But people don't know them like I know them, and I say, okay, you're not really out here doing it, but you putting out all this content like you super bad. But I know what's behind it.
Man, that's crazy though. And that's something I also think about when I'm looking to do like real estate, or I'm showing either it could be a commercial lease or it could be a residential property.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it that I'm allowing them to make the decision that's best for them, and it's not about the commission, because it's my name and my reputation's attached to it. And on top of that, when you do good business, it's a referral based business. Then at that point, so then it's like any money that you're making is like, I helped close this one deal. This one deal led to 2 more deals, and all I did was focus on this one deal. Yep. But I did good business, and that sparked another deal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something important as far as relationships and business. Absolutely. And so the quote is by, man, it's like, I want to say Kofu Kenyatta. That might be a J. It's in cursive. But the quote is, when the missionaries arrived, the Africans had the land, and the missionaries had the Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. When we opened them, they had the land, and we had the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this video over and over again.
Don't fall asleep. A lot of I'm gonna tell y'all this. A lot of y'all talk about being woke. Y'all in this conscious movement, but you unconscious. Y'all in a conscious movement, but you unconscious. You making decisions based off people that's on internet and popularity. You'll see. I hadn't seen no billionaires at InvestBest. Sorry.
No, there was one.
Who?
There was one. There was one.
Who?
What's his name?
Who?
Bezos?
Roberts? No. No, Roberts.
Was he a speaker?
Yeah, he was. He was on the panel.
That don't count.
No, because okay.
Pay my speaking fee, I'll show up.
No. Okay.
That doesn't count.
Honestly, and that's something too. I remember my first year in real estate. One of the, like OG realtors, he said, a lot of people are sleepwalking through life.
Mm-hmm. You're drifting.
And I said, ooh, and it's just powerful that it's like, I'm happy that at least we're able to have conversations like this, and we understand that it's a matter of what is the work that we're actually doing to get to where we want to go.
Hey, let me say this. I ain't trying to take a shot at y'all, EY, whatever. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. But I just want y'all to understand, they had a meeting. Billionaires had the same meeting this week.
Time. Low key.
They had
like a Jekyll Island meeting.
What's the dude? John, some he a black billionaire. They had a meeting the same time as InvestBest. It was so many billionaires there. Did you hear about it?
Not at all.
So when money talk, it's what?
Silent.
On
the hush.
I read. I'm in the podcast saying this. When people tell me they're living a dream, like they be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And they be like, "I'm living a dream." Then I say, "I won't wake you up then." And keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
I keep it moving.
Hey, man, that's different.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and attention. I really appreciate it today. And if you could, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And please leave a review for me if you enjoyed this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Go follow us on all social media outlets.
For sure. Let's get it.